Hi there. Will the NDP support the federal budget, yes or no?
We've not made that decision yet.
Member for Burnaby South.
When I'm Prime Minister, I will keep my promises. Now, another promise, let me try again.
Wait a minute, just calm down. Everybody take a deep breath. The honourable member for Burnaby South, from the top, please.
Absolutely. For the folks over here, when I'm Prime Minister, I will keep my promises. Absolutely.
Hey gang, what's up? Just Aaron right here, Question Period Canada. How y'all doing? Another lovely day in Nova Scotia. Jagmeet Singh there comes off like quite the joke, saying he's going to be the next Prime Minister. I doubt that guy gets elected to Parliament again. He is doing very poorly in the polls, and Canadians are tired of it. It seems like he's dangling a carrot in front of Canadians, which would be an election. He has the power to follow this government on the budget alone. But he's asked directly here by a reporter, yes or no, are you going to vote for the Liberal budget? He doesn't give a direct answer, which is what he does all the time now. No wonder Canadians can no longer trust Jagmeet Singh. I can't, at least. I used to cheer for the guy, hope for him. Now, it's different. So we're going to watch this scrum that he has, because a couple of these reporters really do stick it to him. That's interesting. And again, Jagmeet just comes up with very shallow answers. Really doesn't give any answer at all. Let's take a peek at Jagmeet right here in this scrum, and then we have a treat after that. Just an old piece to take a peek at. Let's go, Jagmeet Singh right here.
Amazing, thank you. And Linda was being very modest. Linda is also someone who's very healthy, has been healthy throughout her entire life, eats well, exercises, mentioned that she does yoga as well, goes for walks, and despite that, of course, has an illness that is something that you can't control. Type 1 diabetes is something that comes on sometimes in your 30s, sometimes in your 20s, in Linda's case, in her 20s, and you have to live with it for the rest of your life. So our message is for someone like Linda to have spent so much money out of pocket over a lifetime, over $100,000 out of pocket. Linda spends $3,000 a year now, even in retirement, on a fixed income. I think that's wrong. I think someone who's worked their entire life like Linda has contributed so much, shouldn't be spending thousands of dollars out of pocket for medication just to stay alive. I think that's wrong. I think that should be covered. And that's why Benita and I, the New Democratic team, fought to make sure that everyone in our country, including Linda, has free diabetes medication and devices. And as Linda pointed out, the devices are so essential. What is offensive to me is for someone like Linda and the thousands and thousands of people like Linda who need this medication to stay alive, who are on fixed incomes and are having a hard time figuring out how to afford it and spending money out of pocket to stay alive. Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives want to take that coverage away from Linda and people like Linda. Pierre Poilievre has already put in place a motion to stop pharmacare before it even begins. He wants to take that away from Linda and from the millions of people that live with diabetes. He wants to take that away from them. And our message is no. We're going to fight back. We're going to make sure Linda gets free medication for her diabetes and devices. And we're going to make sure that everyone in our country that needs it gets that medication and those devices. We know that this is actually a story of the upcoming election, that the Conservatives and Pierre Poilievre want to take away from families. They want to take away not just Medicare. They want to take away the free dental care we fought for. They want to take away the school food program for kids. They want to take away the things that people need. They want to cut and gut the services that families need. That is wrong. That is not a choice that's going to make life better for working people. And people have told me when it comes to Justin Trudeau and the Liberals, they are feeling fed up and frustrated. Things have gotten worse, and they don't see that this government can respond to those concerns. They don't believe that Justin Trudeau is going to be able to respond to the concerns they have. They've had enough of him. And so the change that people have, the choice that people have for change is between the Pierre Poilievre's Conservatives who want to cut the things that you need, make life harder for working people, or New Democrats and my team who want to make sure we invest in people. We make sure Linda has free diabetes medication and devices. We invest in people, we lift people up, and we take on the real challenges that people are faced with. That's the choice that we have in this upcoming election. You Democrats who want to fight for you, take on corporate greed to bring down the cost of living, invest in you and your families with pharmacare, with dental care, with child care, making sure people can afford to have a good life in our country. That's a choice that people have in this next election. And so our message to Pierre Poilievre is, we're going to fight back and make sure that Linda gets her medication covered. We're going to make sure that everyone in our country gets that medication covered that they need. We're going to make sure we build a better country together. I'll do that again in French, and then I look forward to your questions.
Hi there. Will the NDP support the federal budget, yes or no?
We've not made that decision yet, and we've raised a number of concerns. We've said that there's things that we fought for that are in the budget that are good for people, that'll help reduce costs, things like the protection fund for renters, the school food nutrition program, pharmacare, which is going to lower the cost for families. So those are things that are very positive that we fought for, that will lower costs. But we raised concerns, and with Benita beside me, one of the concerns we both raised is the fact that the disability benefit is only $200 a month, far too low. So we've got to hear from the Prime Minister and the Liberals on what their response is to our concerns before we make a decision.
As you mentioned, the government has brought in measures that the NDP has asked for, including in this budget, yet you're not committing to vote in favor of it at this point. You keep threatening to pull your support for the government, but then you continue to support it. So at this point, is this an empty threat?
Well, we said very clearly that unlike the Conservatives who just decided the way they're voting before looking at it, that we would look very clearly at the budget, we would reflect on it with our team, and we've raised some concerns. We've not heard yet a response to our concerns, and so we'll wait to hear that response before we give you a decision. But we're approaching this in a serious manner. We take what we fought for very seriously. These are very important things. Our concerns are also very serious. We want to hear a response before we make our decision.
We will now go to Mickey with the Canadian Press. Please go ahead.
Will an NDP government keep the Liberals' carbon price plan to $170 per ton by 2030?
Well, what we said is on the carbon price, our position hasn't changed. We believe there's a price on pollution that should be there.
Will you keep it then? Will you keep that a carbon price plan to $170 per ton by 2030?
Well, so far what we said is that our position hasn't changed, but we are saying that the Liberals' plan is unfair, and there's elements of that plan that are very unfair. And I've outlined one specific element, which I think is glaring in how unfair it is. The Liberals think it's okay to give billions of dollars to oil and gas companies to subsidize them, particularly when they're highly profitable. They're making record profits. Why does that make any sense to continue to give them billions of dollars and then say to working people, we don't have any money for you to support you in trying to put in place a thermal pump or a heat pump in your home? That's unfair. And that type of approach is something that Canadians look at and say, well, that doesn't really feel like we're all fighting this climate crisis together. You're choosing big oil and gas over us. And so what we've said, our plan that we will put forward is one that is fair for working people, takes on the big polluters, and lowers our emissions.
So gang, what's the deal? Can we trust Jagmeet Singh, or is he chasing a pension, fancy Rolexes, BMWs, all these ludicrous things that he didn't used to represent, but now he seems very comfortable being in with that crowd? I don't know what to say. This is a very interesting piece here at the end. This is from a couple years back. Jagmeet takes a stand and gets kicked from the House Commons floor. It's a bit of a wild one. It's a different look though. Let's take a peek, a walk down memory lane. Let's take a look.
It wasn't a point of order. I also have a unanimous consent motion. Is it the right time to rise on that? Okay. There have been consultations, and I hope if you seek it, you will find unanimous consent for the following motion. That the House recognize that there is systemic racism in the RCMP, as several Indigenous people have died at the hands of the RCMP in recent months, and call on government to do the following. A, review the nearly $10 million per day RCMP budget and the RCMP Act. Increase non-police investments in nonviolent intervention, de-escalation, and mental health and addiction supports. B, ensure that the RCMP is truly accountable to the public. C, release all RCMP incidents of use of force reports and the associated settlement costs. And D, immediately launch a full review of the use of force by the RCMP, including reviewing the tactics and the training that is given to RCMP officers
in dealing with the public.
Does the honourable member for Burnaby South have the unanimous consent of the House to move the motion? Yes. Agreed? Oh, I'm sorry? No? Okay, we don't have a unanimous consent, I'm afraid.
On va revenir. Le député, le chef du NPD veut intervenir.
Does he want to intervene?
Non, mais c'est vrai, je l'appelais un raciste et je le
called him a
crois.
racist.
S'excuser à propos de les propos qu'il a dit.
To what he just
Je ne vais
said.
pas.
I will not.
Je dois vous nommer pour n'avoir pas respecté l'autorité de la présidence. Pursuant to the authority granted to me by Standing Order 11, I order you withdrawn from the House for the remainder of this sitting day.
So we can see there that there was a time that Jagmeet Singh had a heart a few years back, stood up, called somebody a racist, wouldn't back down, eat his words, got booted from Parliament for the day. Big deal. Still working on his pension back then, I guess. My name's Aaron. This is Question Period Canada. We have a blast here every day broadcasting the live question periods. Come join our chat group. It's a blast in there. It's a really fun community. And we make a lot of other videos too, so like, subscribe, get notified, share. We're learning about Canadian federal politics right here. Come and join us and learn away and just have a good time while we learn. And these are tough times in Canada. We're trying to get through them with our chins up, heads held high, right? That's it. We're going to wrap up this video. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to watch the next one. We've got another video floating around here somewheres. Aaron, question period. Have something healthy to eat today. Remember to stay warm. It's getting easier to do that in Nova Scotia. Catch you next video.